And President Biden addressing gun violence and police reform during his town hall in Cincinnati, Ohio last night. Listen to this.
I think you've had a lot of gun violence here in Cincinnati. I think there was up to what? How many dead? 500 over a period? Don't hold me to the number, whatever it was. We need more policemen, not fewer policemen, but we need them involved in community policing. Community policing. And when we did that, violent crime went down. All the criticism about the original crime bill, guess what? Yeah. Crime went down until we stopped doing community policing. So it's about we have availability now of over lots of money for cops to be able to hire psychologists, psychiatrists, as well as social workers.
Well, the president's remarks come as crime rates skyrocket in America's big cities. Joining us now to talk about this is veteran military officer Steve Rogers, also former Navy SEAL and author of the book Sheep No More, Jonathan Gilliam. Great to have you both with us. Thank you very much for joining us. Steve, I'll start with you. What did you think about what President Biden had to say last night?
He certainly needs a reality check. To begin with, community policing was doing very well in most of the cities that Democrats took over and dismantled. They dismantled community policing methodologies that police were using effectively as a result of their movement to defund the police. So he needs to get out on the street and maybe really see what's going on and get out from behind his desk. Yeah. Poor advice. He was way off base.
Jonathan, the president went on to say that crime was actually down under his administration, but of course mentioned guns. Take a listen to this.
As you know, because you're so involved, actually crime is down. Gun violence and murder rates are up. Guns. I'm the only guy that ever got passed legislation when I was a senator to make sure we eliminated assault weapons. I'm continuing to push to eliminate the sale of those things, but I'm not likely to get that done in the near term.
Jonathan, what do you think about that?
I mean, the only place crime is down is Singapore, and that's because they cane their criminals. I mean, the reality is nothing he is saying is a factual truth. He could eliminate right now all the sales of assault weapons, legally acquired assault weapons, and it would change nothing. Almost 100% of the crime that is committed in the inner city and around this nation using a firearm is done using illegally acquired firearms, and nothing, no registry, not a single law is going to stop that unless they put the police out there and get them re-engaged in arresting these people. The only thing he said that is right is about community policing. And I've been saying this for a long time, that police need to build better relationships with the good people around this nation and people in the inner city that are victims of crime and get them involved. But just like law enforcement can't do it on their own, they can't do anything when the people who are in charge of the Department of Justice and all these local law enforcement agencies are lying and saying that crime is down and gun violence is up and blaming it on legally acquired weapons.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Steve? The fact that he would say that, crime is going down or has been down in his administration when we all have seen the numbers.
Yeah, look, absolutely nonsense. Jonathan is spot on, and may I add that the individuals committing these crimes are career criminals.
Mm-hmm. Most and of them, younger and younger, too.
Yes, an overwhelming number of them are career criminals. And as you say, younger and younger, because there's no more structures that these young children can go to. You had Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, boys clubs, girls clubs. I mean, you had all of these structures and communities that were helping parents address a lot of the problems, all dismantled and gone, thanks to the Democrats who have taken control of these cities. So what we need to do, as Jonathan said, and we've all said, and by the way, I've authored a number of community policing methodologies in my career here in New Jersey for cities around the state that were very effective. We need to go back to community policing. But again, he's got to talk about defending and funding the police rather than dismantling and defunding the police.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jonathan's picking up on that when it comes to defunding the police. It does seem that several communities and the Biden administration as well has seen the mistake that they made in pulling funding from police departments. So now they're trying to use money that was supposed to go in that $6 trillion toward COVID relief, saying now communities can use that money to give back to police departments. But is it too little too late?
Well, it's not really too little too late. The problem is, Heather, that these liberal ran states and cities, when they get that money back, they're not going to spend it on police. These people don't want police. That's why they want these numbers in a lot of these different places. Otherwise, they would be doing something to fix it. What you have to realize is whether it's the majority of talking heads on all mainstream media or the president, or even the attorney general or people around the country who have all these things to say about defunding the police, none of them have ever served in law enforcement. None of them know what is going on a daily basis, a nightly basis in and around the United States. They have no clue. Half of them are interested. The other ones are politicking, and it doesn't do the nation any good whatsoever. I truly believe the one thing that is going to save this nation when it comes to law enforcement is the good, hardworking men and women that have been in there for 20 years. If they just don't leave, I know it's hard, but if they stay in there and try to affect some change in the younger people coming in on the job, that's the only thing, that and community involvement.
Yeah. All right, Steve and Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And we have a lot more coming up for you in today's show. But first, let's check in once again with Amanda.